Okay, here's my sound preferences. I like a variety of different tunings, but really what gets my juices flowing, starting from the lower octaves, is in the bass. I like my bass punchy, tight, fast with a kick. I like a little bit of energy down there, maybe a little bit of warmth, but not too much into the getting into bass bleeding. It's got to have enough weight to make male vocals, make piano, cello, percussions, have the right tonality. When it comes to my mids, I do like my mids and mid clarity, but I don't like too forward a mid, so that's the upper mids I'm talking about. So keep the pinna gain down a little bit and not make it too forward a presentation. And when it comes to the highs, I do like my sparkly highs. At my age, I'm probably losing a little bit of the high frequencies. But not too much where it's sibilant and in your face. So that's what I like. Hello, my fellow friends. This is the Tone Deaf Monk coming at you from the Great White North here. I'm here with my trusty brown Siberian Husky Kilo, and he's busy at the moment. But this is a fun one. Finally, I've got some other stuff that I really enjoy listening to, and this is a kind of a cool one. And I'm not really sure how it went past my radar on the first go around, but this is the second go around, and this is the 2025 CVJ Aria. Now, this time they have upped their game or upped their mojo with some Waifu. In that they're giving you, okay, it's the same drivers, the same shell almost as the original Aria. Same exact tuning, except for now we're giving you this funky keychain, this dangler. You could, I mean, if you had piercings, you could like all kinds of stuff. The possibilities are endless. Just saying. And then you got this placard with a whole bunch of writing on the back, which I didn't read. The font gets me. It's not good for people with bifocals. Anyway, just saying. And moving on. So that is the entire unboxing experience, which is actually quite nice. This thing is $79, which is the same price as the OG. Inside of that box, you get a little Waifu themed plastic carrying case, which the IM does happen to fit into, which is nice. I'm always critiquey about that. Though I would have liked to see maybe a little bit bigger one with a mesh pocket that I could have put the nozzles in, but again, not really big deal for me, because once I lock down, if I'm doing 4.4, 3.5, because it's got a modular cable, and the one of the three different nozzles, I'm good to go. So once I'm locked in, I'm locked in. That's it for me. So these ones take a little bit longer because you do actually have to listen to each nozzle. Well, technically two, but I'll get to that. The driver himself, if you're not familiar with the Aria, is a 10 millimeter nano crystal coated diaphragm, which means it's a plastic cone diaphragm with some nano coatings on it of nano crystals. Origin. The modular cable is pretty. It's like a purple blue. It's got one of these snap-ins. Now it has 5 pins. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Does it have a ability to do microphone? Maybe I don't know. Yeah, could be, possibly. They're quite long on this particular one, but it's nice the fact that it's tight enough that it doesn't pull apart when you're pulling it out of your source. So good there. Here I'm using these Penar liquor lacquer tips. And away you go, quite sticky. For my impressions, am using now there's 3 little nozzles that come with it. One that say instrumental, one that says popular, and one that says equilibrium. Here's a graph of what all 3 do. Really, there's really only 2 tunings, because I found 2 of the nozzles pretty much have exactly the same tuning. But then you could probably throw some, I think this one's supposed to come with some foams, but mine didn't come with any in the packaging. So I guess you could take one of those nozzles that were the same and then stuff it with some foam to change the tuning a bit. That's kind of nice. You could do that, though mine did not. So moving on here, let's do some sound impressions, really. Some of the songs that I use all of the time. Kiss Me. Japanese version, Sixpence None the Richer, female vocals, that's what I'm listening for. What stood out for me was how full the mids are. And what I mean by that is listening to her vocals, how much of her tonality comes out of the pronunciation of how, the trailing edges of her vocals when she's spitting into the mic, the inflection of her voice to bring out emotion. This set does it really well. Somebody asked me not long ago what would be a good set to listen to for female vocals, and as I listen to so many, and I, it's actually hard to when people put you on the spot like that, but I would have said this would have been a great set if you're looking for an entry-level set, though the one they were looking for was in the $1,500 price point. So, but this is a good one for that. Great vocal note weight, not too thick, not too dry, and there's a lot going on with this set that makes it different than your single DDs of whatever's on the market. You can see, again, I'll pull up a graph here just with the single tuning that I preferred, the popular setting, that the sub bass is actually rolled off. And it does great things. First of all, I like this tuning a lot. And it does some good things to mid-range and vocals and instrumental tonality. So the treble was also very nice on this set, adding in some nice sparkle, but not too much not bright, not sibilant. This is a really cool tuning. And later on in this video, I'm also going to do a comparison to a very obscure, proud to own IM called the Thor Molyneux Mark II. I think there was only 100 of these ever made. And it's a single dynamic, again, very special. And it has a very similar to tuning to this, except for massive sub bass. So it was an awesome comparison to what would happen if this set had massive sub bass set. And I can do a comparison against that, right? So moving on to a next track. So we did female vocals. Now what about male vocals and instrumental? So here, Moonhearts in Space by Tina Gao and Serge Tankian. Sorry. Male vocals are excellent again, nicely weighted, and the cello was spot on, as was the strings, had really nice upper mid energy and treble. Really quite liked it on that. Now, what if we're switching over something more bass heavy? Unfinished Sympathy by Massive Attack here. So here, where yes, the sub bass is rolled off, it does try and successfully pulls down quite low, though it's not bass head level bass. So again, but the mids and the treble make up for any lack of sub bass with a fuller presentation, and that's really what the gist of this set is about in this tuning, right? Rackham, Dead Can Dance. I listened to this song because it's a live version, and I want to get a sense of stage and space. So on the Aria, I hear good depth, actually, but it's more intimate rather than spacious and 3D in its stage. So some people are all about the EJ07 kind of stuff going on all around you, where this one is more intimate and really just lets you focus in on the presentation at hand. And I like both tunings, but I prefer, if I were liking stage, I actually kind of like a more intimate stage like this because it really just engrosses me more into the music, right? What about EDM? Chemical Mentalist by the Crystal Method. EDM, wicked. I love this mid-bass energy and the slam this thing does. It's nice treble too, because with EDM you want to, naturally dial up the dial, and the energy up top was really nice, not fatiguing. And here I'm using the popular blue nozzles, and lets me go pretty loud. Very nice. I like it. EDM approved. Medellin by Madonna. Aria did, again, it's a great IM for rock and modern music, I think. Again, lets you turn it up, lets you hear the slams, cymbal strikes, bass hits, percussion. Great. That energy into the lower mids and the mid-range in total makes it a great one for that genre as well. So it's a really probably a good all-rounder, except for if you were listening to really bass-heavy genres where you wanted some more oomph going on, where it'll still do that, but it wouldn't give it to a boom, right? I think that's the kind of the only genre you might want is some more R&B or maybe some rap. But when I was listening to that track, one thing that really came out though, and I was again doing that comparison to the Thor, where the mid range becomes more fuller, and there's more sweet. I'm going to use that word because that's the way I heard it. And it still lets you do the head banging, but it just was a really nice presentation into the mids and treble. So I'm really actually sorry I missed this thing first time around, because this set should have really gotten more attention than it did, because it's kind of unique in its tuning, right? And I'm glad I got a chance to listen to the redo. This set is my jam, really. It has a great unboxing experience for and for those who love the full Waifu, very well accessorized for the ask for $80. And the Aria is unique enough, really, and offers enough to really should put it on your radar. Now, you can still buy, I think, the original if you don't like the Waifu version, or buy the Waifu version and go to town, right? Now, I promised I'd do a comparison against that obscure Thor Mjolnir Mark II. Uses a very large driver. It's a very awesome driver. This is a much better driver than obviously what's in the area. I think this was like $350 again. Kind of a, if you could find one, snatch it. Very cool. Now they did their tunings a little bit differently. There was actually a BA tuning vent up there that you could technically, using a BA tuner, like those Knowles tuners, you could pull it out. I didn't muck with any of that. Anyway, here's the graph of these two. Very similar tuning, and they do, tonality-wise, sound very similar, except for, look at the sub bass on this thing. So, if you were to EQ the Aria, it's not meant. I tried that too to get the same. I tuned it the same. I used EQ, auto EQ to tune it to the same as the Thor, but it didn't like it really. So again, different driver, that's for sure. The driver that they put in the Aria is perfectly tuned for what it can do, right? The bottom end, what happens when you increase that sub bass thing? Well, the mids, your brain, your ears go, okay, I'm hearing all this extra energy in the bass, and I'm going to tone down what I hear because my brain can only absorb so much, apparently. So I hear way more bass because there is a lot more bass, but I hear the mid-range being compressed, and it doesn't sound as full, doesn't sound as smooth, doesn't sound as natural. I mean, I enjoy both tunings, and I love the Thor a ton, and it would just really be depending on what mood I would be in, whether I would pick up one of this or the other, right? And it's sometimes nice not to have an IM that is that bass focused. This is one I would, in a single deity, I would call a bass fi, where it has a lot of bass, but it still has a lot of energy up top to give you that nice sparkle in presentation. So, different one, but hearing the two, and I wouldn't try and EQ the Aria. That's my point, my takeaway. Let it do what it does well. That's why it's different from pretty much a lot of other ones in single DDs, and that was my takeaway. It was well-chosen driver. They tuned it perfectly for what it can do, playing it to its strengths, and it came out to a really nice, smooth-sounding, wonderfully extended single dynamic. To CVJ, I say, great job. Thank you for putting this one out 2 times on the market.